Hi kids. The last few tutorials we've been building games for Scratch and the microbit. We started off with some really simple games. We focused on ping pong. We added functionality to be able to play ping pong first using primarily using the keyboard in Scratch 3, and then we moved on to ping pong with the microbit. So we created a Scratch and microbit game where the microbit was used as a small little gaming console to control the sprites on the screen. Scratch 3 has added functionality for many other different components. The microbit is one of the boards that you can connect to Scratch 3 and create some really fascinating animation, games, interactive videos and whatnot. In today's tutorial, we'll create a simple game. We'll create something that we call, or that's called walking the plank. We'll create it purely in microbit, so it's a microbit game. Let's head over to Kids Can Code. We use Kids Can Code extensively in class. Kids Can Code is basically a learning management system. It's a portal for all intents and purposes, where we have a whole lot of tutorials available. Tutorials covering electronics, robotics, fundamentals of coding, various aspects of computer science, programming using Python, programming Arduino and whatnot. So if you head over to courses, you'll see all the different courses there. There's heaps of courses, courses on web development, on Scratch 3 and microbit, courses on robotics using the Kitronic Move Mini, courses on the Micro McQueen DFR robot, course electronics using the microbit, robotics using the microbit. There's a whole lot of stuff, and we'll cover this off over a period of time. You can do Python. You can do, just if you want to do Arduino, you can check out some of our Arduino courses as well. Arduino is a very popular electronics microcontroller board, using which you can do a lot of fun stuff. And obviously there's a Raspberry Pi as well, for those of you who are keen into getting into the Raspberry Pi. So there are courses on the Pi as well. Anyway, so heading back, we will pick a gaming course that has been designed for the BBC microbit. Where is this course now? There you go. There it is. So we're going to design an interactive game using the BBC microbit. Okay. So head over. So the website's Kids Can Code. If you go to kidscancode.com, you'll find the link to get into the LMS, the learning management systems. The one that we're going to do today is called walking the plank. Click on your tutorial. Once you enter the tutorial, you can access the tutorial by clicking on the link. It will open it up in a new window, and you can follow the tutorial there. These are really detailed tutorials. Have a read through the instructions in the tutorial, especially if you're handling the microbit board for the first time. There are a few things you might want to just read through to make sure you understand how to work with the microbit board, how to upload code to the microbit board, how to reset the microbit board, what not to do when handling the microbit, and so on and so forth. These tutorials are pretty detailed. It starts with some safety warnings, especially when dealing with the microbit, but we'll straight away dive into the program. There are no electronics required, no electronic components required as such for this tutorial. So the game we're going to develop today is called Walking the Plank. And very simply, the objective of the game is to walk around an agreed path in the room. So it might be a line, it might be a square, it might be a wiggly path, without tilting the microbit board. Now the code that we write will be designed to check for any tilting of the board, and as soon as the microbit board is tilted, it will basically call it out as game over, and it ends the game. So it's a simple game, walking the plank, purely using the microbit. So let's get started. The tutorials can be found at kidscancode.com. So head over to kidscancode and access the tutorial. This is part of the microbit tutorial, so it's a gaming course for the microbit. So let's get started. What we want to do now is we want to get to MakeCode, which is the MakeCode editor. makecode.microbit.org. Now MakeCode is Microsoft's. It's a Microsoft project which was created for the microbit, which was created to support the microbit foundation and allows us to create and write programs for the microbit. So I've got the tutorial open. I'm going to move the tutorial to another screen just to make it easy to work. So we get started. What we first want to do is, so we'll use the onStart block. Use the onStart block. We want to say show string. Let's put down a welcome string. So we'll say, hey fellas. You can put anything down there. We just call it hey fellas. Okay. So an onStart block is a block that's run once when your program starts. As you see, when I move my mouse on top of it and it says run code when the program starts. So this will only run once when the program has started off. So every time the program starts, it will just run once. What I then want to do is I'll insert a small little pause. I'll say pause for 1000. I'll call it 1000 milliseconds. The computer, you got to tell the computer how long you want it to sleep, pause or sleep, and you got to tell it in terms of, talk to it in terms of milliseconds. So 1000 milliseconds is 1 second. We'll paint some pictures on screen. So we'll say show icon, and I'm going to select. Where is? Yes. There you go. Looks like a smiley face. Okay. And then I'll put a small little pause again, but this time what I'll do is I'll click, duplicate, and put it on. So I created an onStart block. In the onStart block, I've added show string. You can customize it, put on whatever text you want. I've asked the computer to sleep for a second. As I said earlier, the computer only understands values in milliseconds, so you've got to give it 1 second is equal to 1000 milliseconds. Show icon, you can choose whatever icon you want, or you can create your own custom icon, as in show LEDs. You can put down a show LED as well, and you can have different patterns put down, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to take, I'm just going to use the show icon, and then I'm asking you to sleep again. So what we will do now is, that was the initial block. Now let's put the game together. Now what we want to do is we want this, once it's run the onStart block, we want it to run the game. What we're going to do is we're going to say, we'll make a variable, and we'll call the variable, hold on. So what we want to do is functions advanced, fine, text game, we don't know this, more is fine, pins is fine, control we don't want, loops is going radio. Okay, so we want to set rotation to row, and we'll create a new variable, and we'll call the variable angle detected. So that's we're going to detect movement, right? That's what we said we would do. So what we're going to do is, so So what we're going to do is we just created a variable called angle detected. We want to now set the variable angle detected to the value of roll as in the roll angle detected by the microbit. So we'll select angle detected, which we've just done over here, and we will choose we will set the angle detected to the rotation or roll which is the angle of roll as detected by the microbit. Now the angle of roll, I obtained it from here. So in case you're looking for it, the angle of roll was under input, rotation roll. So I pulled this down and I changed it to roll. Okay. So what we are doing is we are within a forever loop. We are creating a variable called angle detected, and angle detected has been set to measure the rotation roll. I then create an if then else statement. So I go to logic. I want an if then else. Is it? Come on. There you go. Okay. So what I want to do now is if angle. So I want to make a decision. Will this do? Yes. So I want to make a decision. If I want to check if the angle detected. So in the first statement we detected the angle, and we set the angle to the measured roll. The roll is measured, and whenever you move your whenever you tilt your microbit board, it will measure the roll. So what we want to do is we want to check if the angle detected is greater than 0 or lesser than 0, because if the angle detected is greater than 0 or lesser than 0, it means the board has basically been tilted. Now 0, as you know, is a flat line, and as soon as you tilt it towards the left or you tilt it towards the right, the angle of the roll will be greater than 0. Right? The angle of roll will be greater than the angle detected, which is the rotation roll, will be greater than 0. So we are going to say, where's variable? So we're saying if angle detected is not equal to 0, which means it is either greater than 0 or it is lesser than 0. We want to then we'll show a sad face. We will then pause for a bit. Pause for 1 second, which is 1000 milliseconds, and we will say string time's up, game over, and we will show the final show number, and we will basically show the angle. We want to tell the player what was the angle detected. Okay. Now if the rotation is equal to 0, the game continues, right? So what we want to then do is we want to basically then just put just display a smiley face and say if the angle detected is equal to 0, which means there is no roll, you can continue playing the game. So very simple game. What we will now do is we will save this to the USB, the microbit which is connected to the USB, and we'll test it out. So what we want to do now is we want to copy it. Oh, before we do that, we can actually test it out over here. There we go. So actually, let's test it out on screen. I will now test. Let's give it a name, and we will say, let's call it walking the plank, right? And we'll stop it, and let's start it now. Now you notice as long as the board remains flat, the game will keep running. As soon as you tilt the board, the game will stop running, right? So we know that the game has started when we see a smiley face. Okay, so the game has started. Now let's tilt the board. There you go. And it will say time over. So as you noted, as soon as the board is tilted, it says game over. But there's an issue with this. If you noted, even after it says game over, because we've got the code in a forever loop, it comes back again. So if you see the if else statement, if the angle detected is not equal to 0, that is greater than 0 or less than 0, which means that you tilted the board, it shows a frowny face, and then it says game over. But as soon as you stop tilting the board, which is what we've done, it shows a smiley face again. So what we actually want to do is as long as you have not tilted the board and you're showing a smiley face, it's fantastic. But once you have detected movement or detected roll and you have shown time's up, game over, you do not want to continue with the loop. You want to end the game. So let's find a block that will help us end the game. So let's go and grab another block. Look in the blocks within the game section, and you will find a block called game over. So what we want to do now is we want to drop this block right at the end, so that once we've displayed game over and we've displayed the angle, we end the game, so it doesn't continue to run in the forever loop. Okay, let's start the game again. And you will see that it runs through hey fellas, it sleeps for a second, and it'll finally show you the sleepy face. So the on start block, as you remember, only runs once. There you go. Now now that it has run the on start block, it is running the forever block, and in the forever block, since the angle detected of roll, or the angle of roll, is 0, it continues to show the smiley face. Now what we want to do is we want to test whether our game over actually stops the game. There we go. I've tilted the board, and let's see what happens. I've released the tilt, but even though I've released the tilt, it should now end the game. There you go. Simple. There you go, and it's end of the game. Let's download this to the microbit. I'll download this to the microbit and I will test it out. So I press the save button, I select my microbit. There's my microbit, which is plugged into the computer, and I say save. And it is writing it to the microbit now. Okay. Now you obviously can't see me testing it out, but I'll have a small little section available later. There it has been written to the microbit. So that's it. That's the game for today. A really simple game. Walking the plank. You can read through the rest of the tutorial. The tutorial is available at Kids Can Code. So you can see the tutorials at kidscancode.com. The best way to get here is to go to Kids Can Code. So head over to Kids Can Code, and from Kids Can Code, click on Let's Get Going, or Let's Get Coding, sorry, and look at the courses for the BBC Microbit. There are many different courses. You can take whichever ones you want. Look at the courses for the BBC Microbit. You will find a course on gaming, game design interactive games using the BBC Microbit. There are 20 odd games. We've only started with the first one. We'll cover off the others over a period of time and dive into the game. So we've created a simple game. Feel free to add more content to it, create different functionality to it. If you're looking at picking up a BBC microbit, head over to OzToyLib. You will find all our products listed at oztoylib.com.au. The microbit board is around $28.99. There are a whole lot of other microbit accessories and add-on boards that you can find as well. The microbit is a board that was designed by BBC and a whole host of other partners. It's a very, very popular board with kids of all ages and adults as well. And with regards to coding, you can code the microbit using blocks as we've done today. You can code the microbit using JavaScript, which is, you see the same code in JavaScript, and at some point we'll touch base. We'll try out some games in JavaScript as well. Or you can write code in Python and MicroPython and download to the board. So very versatile board. You can design games, interactive, animation. You can create stories. You can create a lot of interesting stuff. You can do electronics, and you can interface it with Scratch, which is absolutely and truly amazing. So thank you again for your time today. Hopefully you've enjoyed the game. And if you want to check out our other tutorials, we would suggest head over to OzToyLib, and at OzToyLib check out the news and update section, and you'll find a lot of our articles, links to magazines, free download magazines, the Hackspace magazine by the Raspberry Pi Foundation, and a whole host of other magazines available for free, including a magazine, the Micromag, which is the official Raspberry Pi magazine, and a lot of other tutorials and games available on the site. So that's oztoylib.com.au, and the news and update section. And our YouTube channel is also available, STEM Ed Down Under. You'll find all our videos hosted at our YouTube channel. So you can grab them. You can grab the tutorials directly via Kids Can Code. You can grab your microbit at OzToyLib, and you can also see the videos directly at STEM Ed Down Under. So thank you again for your time. Hope you've learned something from today's tutorial, and we'll see you again with some interesting content. Until then, have a nice one. Cheers.